How are
Turn off the couch.
you?
You know, trying to make it in this crazy world we live in right now, but it's okay. You know, have no
Yeah,
real complaints.
right. Me too.
Yeah, I
Same.
was gonna say, how's it out there? Because you know, it's a whole different ball game. I know out there, like, you know, it's
It
different rules,
is.
everything.
It's different rules. Definitely where I'm at in Austria. It's definitely different rules over here. People are more obedient, I always
Yeah.
say. Like a lot of my US folks were talking about, yeah, why are y'all about to open back up so fast? I said, yeah, we disobedient Americans. That's how we do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We have too much freedom, I feel.
Too much freedom sometimes. We want freedom, but we don't know what to do with it sometimes. So yeah. Over
Oh,
here, they kind of, when they locked down, they said, we locked down. So everybody went inside and everybody did what they were told. So it was really quiet. So
that's
yeah,
good. That's
yeah.
well, no. First, I want to thank you so much for even doing this. I've been a fan of yours since day
Oh,
one. I
thank
mean, it's definitely like an honor to interview you. So I want to bring it all the way back. So
you. Okay.
yeah, we'll bring it all the way back from the beginning. So at what age did you really want to get into, like when you knew, hey, I wanted to pursue this career?
You mean sing or
Yeah,
which
singing, like
part?
singing.
Um, I knew when I was maybe 11 or 12 years old that I wanted to sing. I didn't know if
Okay.
I wanted to make a career of it, but I knew I wanted to. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my voice, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna sing. I gotta sing. Yeah,
Okay, dope,
yeah.
dope. Yeah, and then you know, fast forward to 2000, you sign with Aftermath Interscope Records. So how how was it? Like, was it hard to choose? Because at that time, that's when everyone you had to have a label to have distribution and get your name out there. So was it hard to choose a label, or was like that's the main one you wanted to go with?
It kind of chose me.
It did. Okay.
At the time, because I got into the game as a songwriter, surprisingly. Like
Yeah.
I came in writing songs for other artists. I
Hmm.
was in a group, and the group kind of wasn't working. We were signed to Giant Records, and we kind of sat, and we never really. We did a video on the first single, but we never really saw the light of day. So I kind of sat around just writing songs, and had a publishing deal. So via that publishing deal, I ended up meeting Dre and kind of writing exclusively for his label.
Yeah.
But he kind of felt like everything I was writing, sounded like it was for me sometimes. Like I had written a song for Dawn Robinson, and he was
Uh
like, "Well,
huh.
it sounds like it's for you. When we get her to do it, it sounds like it's your song." And so eventually, he came to me and he was like, "What do you say we just do an album? Like, let's try it." And I was like, I kind of opted out of doing any more artistry at that time,
Uh huh.
and he was like, "Nah, let's try it. And if it doesn't work, then nobody has to hear it. Everything stays in the studio." So he's like, "I definitely would like to put you, in the light of being an artist and see if we can develop a project that makes sense." And
Uh huh.
so I said yes, and that was how I ended up doing, my first project with Aftermath. So it
Okay.
wasn't like
Dope.
there was some big race
Was
of people trying to choose me, because it wasn't like that. It
yeah.
was strictly Dre saying, let's do an album,
Uh
and
huh.
that's where we started.
Dope, dope. And yeah, like, the first single, Addictive, still to this day, one of the biggest songs I feel from the past 20 years. That
Thank you.
just, I mean, it's just one of them songs. I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone I know around me knows that song. It's just one of them
Oh,
songs that will, I think, stand the testament of time. So,
thank
how was it? Yeah, you're welcome. How was it like when you released it and just the reception? Because it took over.
Well, like I said, we were fishing around for stuff that worked to make me an artist, and
Uh
kind
huh.
of develop me as a project. And it was difficult because we did over 100 songs.
Whew.
And Addictive didn't come until towards the end.
Okay.
So once Addictive happened, it was so different that from the rest of the project that we were just kind of like, hmm. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt it should be a single, and Dre kind of felt it should be a single. He wasn't sure. He just knew it was mind blowing, that was
Yeah.
different.
Uh huh.
Jimmy Iovine was saying, "Nah, this isn't the single. Let's go with the R. Kelly one, the R. Kelly joint."
Yeah.
And Drake's like, "No, I don't want to go with the R. Kelly joint. That really doesn't define the whole project. So let's think about this." And before we could even really figure it out, it was on the radio. It kind of slipped out, and it was being played everywhere. So that also kind of chose us. You know?
It's so,
So it wasn't
that's
a
awesome to
structured
know.
situation.
Yeah. Like, because I guess, though, back in that day, you didn't have social media, so you didn't know. It just kind of, you waited for stuff to come out, and, it came out when it did, and it just took over. But
Right.
how was it like promoting before even the album dropped, just the single? Because you were doing appearances everywhere, performing at all like talk shows and awards. Like, how was it? Just it's like a breath of fresh air, almost like.
It was crazy for me because I wasn't used to any of that. Even when I went out on Up in Smoke with Dre, and I was kind of introduced to everybody that way as his artist.
Yeah,
That was mind blowing for me. Of course, it was an opportunity of a lifetime, but it was just it happened so fast. My career didn't happen fast because I had been hustling forever in the
yeah,
business.
exactly. You already are used to it.
Yeah, but me being on that level of stage as an artist, and also putting out a single, and it just kind of took flight.
Mm-hmm.
It happened really really quick. So I was just like, yeah, this is cool, but I was really nervous. Yeah, I
It's
was
all
really
yeah.
nervous.
It's funny because I watch back some performances, like they're just so like the nostalgia, the reminiscent of it all. Like, I just wish it was
Yes.
more of today. I feel like today doesn't have that it
Oh,
factor anymore, which is
wow.
unfortunate.
Thank
But I
you.
hope it comes back around, maybe in the next
Me too.
10 to 20 years. But
Me too.
how do you feel too? Like, they need to get that song back on iTunes. Like,
Yeah, you know why it isn't? Because of the lawsuit. That's not
yeah,
why it's like everybody. So I want to clear that up while we're here
hmm
because I haven't done an interview in eons on purpose.
yeah.
This is the first one I've done. I thought this was perfect because I like the way you do things, number
Oh,
one. And
thank you. I
then,
appreciate it.
yeah, and the other thing was, that I see a lot of things floating around, some misunderstandings about what
Uh huh.
happened. And, the lawsuit ended up as a result being the opportunity for them to take the record off the shelves.
Hmm.
So it was like a cease and desist. It wasn't a payout of millions of dollars. So people always say, "Oh, she got sued for millions and millions and millions," and Interscope got sued, Dr. Dre got sued. That's not what happened. I mean, if they paid out money, they paid out money for their attorneys,
Yeah,
but there was no cash settlement for
yeah,
this lawsuit. The lawsuit just enabled them to take the record off of the shelves until it was properly credited because they weren't credited.
yeah,
And actually was, an accident the way it all happened. We thought, or an oversight. We really thought that Quick had gotten permission to use the
got
sample.
yeah.
Because when you make albums, every producer clears their own samples. They go get their
Hmm.
own channels, do that, and they do that. And this particular time, it did not happen, and it kind of slipped through the cracks. So that was the reason, and it happened to be the first single, so the damage was done.
Dang, yeah. That I feel like they got to fix that like soon because
Yeah,
that's such. I mean, it's the biggest. It's that song. Like, when you go on
yeah,
iTunes, I'm like, what the heck? Like, I watch it on YouTube, and I have the album, but it's just for the younger audience. I feel like some people, like younger kids, I'll oh, Addictive, and they'll be like, oh no, let me hear it. Like, let me go on iTunes. I'm like, no, it's not on there. You have to go on YouTube. They're like, well, why? And I try to say a little bit about it because back in that day too, you didn't have social media, so you really didn't know, and that's before iTunes really. So it's just like people bought the album, and it really
right,
wasn't taken from the shelves
exactly,
necessarily like how it is today with everything being
exactly,
electronic. So yeah, they
right,
need
right.
to.
Youngest don't get it unless it's on Apple.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Back in that day, it was just like, oh, there's a lawsuit. Oh, okay. Well, I still have the album, so I could play it,
Right.
on my Sony Man. So you're good.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, they need to fix that. Like, it has to get done. I feel they need to just
yeah,
put the credits in somehow and make that happen. But
and make it happen.
yeah, they have to. I feel it's just it's necessary for the culture and for like that time of music.
Thank
Definitely.
you.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right.
no
It's a
problem. Yeah,
be done for sure.
yeah. But then you had the truth with R. Kelly. How was that? Because I still love the video for that one. I just love how you got on the stage. I think it was dope. I think it was like, I don't know how I could explain the whatever they use a certain kind of camera. I feel like the editing was super dope. So how was it
Yeah,
working with R. Kelly and just having that as your second single? Because I think it was dope to have, like you said, Addictive was so different from your second single, but I really like both of them.
I think we we just kind of had bad luck on the whole beginning of the project because I don't know if you remember, but that was around the time the accusations of R. Kelly
Oh yeah,
started happening.
yeah.
Well, so we not only got hit with that lawsuit, we were dealing with R. Kelly and his lawsuits. So,
It's just
so the entire situation was kind of doomed, and we just kind of had to go with the flow because we had already released that second single when everything started really piling on. And then the radio stations were saying they wouldn't play it because of what was going on with R. Kelly, because he was being
really.
accused. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They were telling us, nope, we won't play it. And, they were taking this strong stand against him at the time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everything slipped away, after that moment, he kind of got accepted back into the community for
Yep.
whatever reason. He got through it, but at the time the single was coming out, people were really adamant about not playing it, not wanting to hear it because
Crazy.
he was on it. He was actually singing on it,
Yeah.
so it was no getting by.
See, that's so
And we
what.
had
See,
already planned that to be the second single from the cup. So if it wasn't the first, it was going to be the second. So
that's so messed up. Yeah, I mean, like I get it, but at a certain point, like I just see it as the artistry. Like I don't look at that. That's just my personal
I
beliefs,
mean, it was
regardless of.
mine too. It wasn't about him. It's about me. He just produced the song, but
Yeah.
I guess he was so in the song, they were just like, yeah, this is an R. Kelly track.
That, it's a it's unfortunate, but I know you did a lot though because you were in the Wash, you were
Yeah.
in Ali, you
Hmm.
had music on both. Like, how was
Hmm.
that? And then you also had, I think, before you even dropped your debut album, you had you had a song with D12, Busta Rhymes. Like, how
Yeah.
was it working with people too before even dropping the album as well? How was that? Like, just getting your name out there even more.
I mean, it was amazing. I have to give it up to Dr. Dre because we were just constantly working. So anything that came through that studio, I was working my ass off. So
Yeah.
I was like room to room to room to room, writing, singing, writing, singing. We didn't know what would be used or what wouldn't, but we were around the clock. And I had a
Yeah.
little girl at the time, and I remember rarely seeing her. I'd see her in the mornings, and then get her off to school, and then I was back in the studio all the way up until maybe 3 a.m. in the morning or 4 a.m. in the morning again. And then the next day doing the same thing over again. So I would see her on the weekends maybe, but it was crazy. It was like around the clock, I was making music or I was writing. And Dre had several people coming through the studio. So if Busta Rhymes came through, he was like, we're gonna do a joint or two with Busta Rhymes, and he'll be like, hey, True, come in here, write this hook real quick, and I'll come in there and write the hook, and then we would hear it on the radio.
Really?
So really, it was really crazy, but it was just a workload out of this world.
I could
So
imagine.
it was an honor, and Dre taught me my work ethic, and man, it was just amazing. I
Yeah.
couldn't.
Hey.
Internet, sorry.
No, it's fine. Hey, it's the way of I get it. Let me turn off the comments. Yeah, but no, what going off of what you were saying, it's so dope too. Because at that time, that's when still people were going into the studio to work with the producer, the writer who was featured on. Because today it's like, oh hey, just send me, record it on your own and send me your file. And they just like half the time people are featured on stuff they never even met, and they usually don't meet until maybe they perform on an award show, and that's like a quick 5-minute performance, and then they never see each other again. So it's dope.
Right.
You actually got to work with the people. Like,
Oh
not done
yeah,
enough.
D12. Eminem, you know, Busta, everybody but JayZ, because when I did that song, The Watcher 2,
The
the
Watcher.
remix, it was Dre's at first, and then it became
Yeah.
Eminem's. So I had to re-record some vocals. I had to fly to Detroit and do that with Eminem at his home studio. And then the next thing I know, it was actually JayZ releasing it. So it's like they would have the vocals back and forth. So yeah, most of the time though, I was in the studio, and it was so much camaraderie, and everybody was just like, you know, brother, sister. It was a great experience. You got to really vibe with those people, and I feel that's why the music came out great, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like 10 times, but they need to do that more. I get people
Oh,
want to make it faster, where they just, you know, they're in other cities or across the world. It's like, no, just get together, you know, at least
yeah,
talk
yeah, and
before you
you
even
lose the
record.
value. Absolutely, you lose the value when you don't do that, because you know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the new artists, you know, they're just flying vocals in, but you don't feel the passion, and you don't feel the camaraderie, and you don't
Yep.
feel like back in the day when Bootsy Collins would go in with George Clinton, you just knew it was
Yep.
magic, you know, magic in the
Mm-hmm.
studio. You wanted to be in that room. You wish you were there to help them make that record. And nowadays, you can hear the difference that is records that are having vocals flown in, and the people aren't like really communing or whatever.
Yeah.
So
There's no chemistry in the song. It's just
yeah,
a straight hook and then the verses by the artist and the hook by the featured artist. So it's just like I said,
I
I hope
agree.
within the
I
next 10 to
totally
20
agree.
years. Yeah. But, you know, also I loved your feature you did with Eve, What, on her Evolution album. How was that working with her too?
Yeah, wonderful. I had already known her since I had first signed to Dre, so I had been seeing her around for a long time. She used to be signed to Dre at one point before
Yeah.
she moved on, and yeah, and she was already around, so yeah, it was already magic. So yeah, we made what? Yeah, it was already, because I don't know if you remember, but I wrote "Love Is Blind" for her back when she
That's right.
first signed. Yeah, so it was like already knowing her and already knowing,
Yeah.
you know, she was as an artist. So it was instant moment in time.
That's dope. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. But like, you know, so the first album drops. You toured. I know, like you said, you did the Up in Smoke. You did what was it? The Smoking Grooves tour. Like,
Yeah,
how was
smoking
it?
group.
Yeah, how was it transitioning then from Aftermath to Raphael Saadiq's label? I know, and then you did your second album, Ready Now. How was that transition for you?
That was a major transition, because it was going from, you know, the major machine to the independent machine. And the
Yeah.
machines are very, very different, of course. You have to do a lot more work on your own, but then you have more freedom to do
Yeah.
you and be you. So I feel like Ready Now was way more who I am and where I come from
Hmm.
as an artist, musician, and just all around as a person and as a woman. I felt it represented, and I had to, you know, be way more hands on. I had to produce. I had to prepare the entire project pretty much on my own, because a lot of times, you know, Raphael wasn't there. He was like, okay, whatever you come up with, that's the album.
That's
No. I mean, he was a support, don't get me wrong, but, you know, he
yeah,
would just
yeah,
throw me in with the producers, because he has, you know, kind of the same camaraderie going on in his studio. He has all of the people that he works with, the producers, writers, and everybody's just working together. And actually, speaking of George Clinton walked into the studio one day when I was working at Raphael's studio. So, you know, it was always some
awesome.
crazy going on
But
in his studio. Yeah, yeah, just moments and moments and moments and moments. So it was different, but it was just as amazing.
dope. Yeah, you
Definitely.
know, during that time too, that's, you know, I tell everyone, you know, if you didn't see under 2010, I feel like you didn't really witness the great music history that we have, at least in this generation.
Right.
What's one defining moment for yourself that, you know, because you got to see so much, that, you know,
Yeah.
you've seen it all when it was good, like when the budgets were there, when you made music
Yeah.
videos for every single, when you got to promote a single, when you got to, you know, get it out to the fans and see, you know, show fans. how, like, what's one defining moment for yourself, would you say?
There were too many to name, to be honest, but I would say that era of time, you know, the defining moments definitely were the stages that I
Yeah.
performed on, especially Up in Smoke. That was definitely a moment in time. I mean, I just felt like a dream come true, you know,
Yeah.
that particular moment, and also in Smoke and Grooves was the first time I got to actually meet face to face with the person I idolized the most in the music industry, which was Prince.
Oh
I
yeah.
grew up, yes, Prince Rogers Nelson. I grew up just, man, doing everything to try to emulate this man. My room was purple, my life was purple, all because of this man. He was amazing, beyond amazing to me. So for me to meet him face to face, I think I was backstage and I had just gotten off the stage and Lauryn Hill was on the stage and they said Prince was at the sound stage, like the sound part. And I said,
Oh.
what? Prince Rogers, Prince? They were like, Prince. I said, oh shit, let me put my clothes. I had changed my clothes. I was sweaty. I changed my clothes and I went straight away to meet him. I was like, yo, that is him. I think he was sitting with his girlfriend at the time, and I walked up and I was like, I was nervous, I was shaking, and I'm like that about nobody. You can ask anybody
Yeah.
who knows me. Like I was handling Dre all the time. Dre would be like, yo, people like, you don't respect Dre. That's Dr. Dre. I'd be like, that's Dre. But when I met this man, I was a little girl again. I felt like I was
Yeah.
5 years old. And he totally burst my bubble. I walked up, I was like, I'm your biggest fan. I know you hear that from everywhere, but oh my God, for you to be here. And he looked at me and he was smiling and he, you know, did the little smirk he always does. And he was like, I'm here to see Lauryn Hill. Oh my God. He killed me. But it was
But
still
that was
amazing.
Prince. He was being true to himself, like how he talks.
But that
That's
was,
so funny.
so he was allowed. He was totally allowed. So yeah.
That's so funny. That's awesome. Well, you know, you took, well, I guess not necessarily. When did you move to Europe and whatnot? Like, what made you really want to go that way? Like, because I give you, that's so much respect to you to take that jump and just experience. Because that's another thing I feel people don't do. Like, yo, move out somewhere different for a little and see how you like it. You may be the best thing for you.
Oh, I didn't do it for that reason, but I see what
Yeah.
you're saying though.
Yeah.
I'm actually where my husband is from right now. My husband is from Austria.
Oh,
So,
okay, okay.
oh yeah, he's a major DJ over here. And, you know, we were in the States for a little while, maybe for like 2 years. And we ended up
Hmm.
coming back because his workload is crazy over here. And I also came back because I was working on some film stuff over here. So I don't know if you know, but that was the direction that I kind of took in the last 5, 6 years. I've been doing a lot of movies and it's become my new passion and
It's
my
okay.
heart. So yeah. So that
How
was why I
was
was here. I
it?
was working on a project before the COVID-19 thing came up. I was supposed to be filming in Romania in January. So, you know, everything just kind of got put on pause. But in November of last year, when we first got back here, I was working in
Hmm.
Switzerland on the score for a film that I'm in called A Day Like a Week. And that's coming
Okay.
out this year. Yeah.
Dope.
So
How was it though moving out there? Like, was it hard for you to get used to it? Because I've only been to Europe once. I've been to London and Milan. I've never been nowhere else yet out there. But
I gotta be honest, when I first came to Europe, when my first album came out, I was genuinely being an American, and
yeah.
I wasn't receptive to the difference in Europe. And as the time went along, and I met somebody that I ended up falling in love with and ended up marrying, I feel like there's no place better than here. And the way that they receive me here, it's kind of
Hmm.
like in the States, everybody's a superstar, everybody's got a reality show, everybody's doing this. And over here it's kind of it's a nonstop respect of art.
Yep.
And it's really about art. And I receive, that kind of love over here, no matter what. So for me, it's perfect. I
It's
love it.
perfect.
I love the energy. I love the open air. I love what it feels like over here. It's so unhindered, and
Yeah.
what I need, because I've
Mm-hmm.
always been the type of person. I've always been different and on my own individual thing. So this is where it's at for me.
That's awesome to hear, because I think it's good to, like you said, it wasn't necessarily your choice, but you did it and you love it now. So it's awesome. And like you said, the artistry, they respect the art, not because
Too.
you're crazy, crazy famous with, 5.10 million or however 10 million followers. It's like the
Mhm.
respect of the music or movies or whatever kind of art you do. That's what I respect
Right.
about Europe. And
Absolutely.
I love one thing you did too with music. I really liked you. You went to different genres. You did like dance EDM almost. What I know, 2012 was Nothing Lasts Forever. I love Nothing
You
Lasts
did
Forever.
the homework, huh?
I did my own. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love the vid, but I had that song already downloaded for a while because that came what
Thank you.
2012. So
Wow.
yeah, like
Thank
how
you.
was it just getting into a different realm? Because dance EDM, especially out in Europe, it's huge. Like,
It is. It is. At the time, I was doing a project in France. That was supposed to just be like a separate independent project. And
hmm
for me, I gotta say, going back to what you were saying about what are those moments in times that were just out the frame for you. And for me, I gotta say, even above and beyond being on those stages in the States, this was major for me. This
yeah,
was major for me. We filmed in a part of France I had never been, and it
hmm
was at this castle. I had never been to a damn castle. This place was monstrous, and I had the best, absolute best stylist, hair, makeup,
uh huh,
everything to do the show. And man, when I tell you, it was just extraordinary. I felt like a queen, the queen that I am.
yeah, yes,
And that's a foreign in foreign terminology.
hmm
So for me, it was like I felt like it was a moment in time that I was just on a different planet, man. And that's what I love about Europe. It's just like I said, it's just open. You feel open and you feel like you can just do anything, like you can
yeah,
fly. And that's the feeling that I always appreciate because I don't like to ever feel like I'm in a box. That's why I try different music. I don't like for people to categorize what I do and say, "Oh, that's R&B. Oh, well, that's hip
hmm
hop soul. Oh,
yep.
well, she's queen of hip hop." I don't ever want to be put in any particular box because I just love music. So
Yeah, and I love to, like, you've done a lot of different music. You've done what else? Fight for Love that came out 2015. You did
we're
I know
actually
you
release that out here
you re-
because of what's going on with the COVID-19, and I'm gonna do a video for it in Istanbul. Shout out to my boy at Boss Entertainment, Daryl. We're gonna
oh,
actually redo that and shoot it in Istanbul and get some really good footage and
that's gonna be
hopefully get.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, people need to fight for love right about now because the
Yeah.
world is mad. So
It definitely is. But you also I know you dropped, what other songs that I like a lot? Smoke. You did Kama Sutra. I know it was with Corrupt and some other artists. I don't necessarily
Iraj,
remember their names, but
Iraj from Sri Lanka.
yes, yes. How, like, what was one? What out of those like couple projects? What has been your favorite to do? Because I like that they're all so different, and it was cool with Kama Sutra. It reminded me sort of like an Addictive. So,
Yeah,
like a
yeah, it
second
was.
version. So how was it? And what's one of your favorites out of all of them?
I think my favorite is Nothing Lasts Forever out of all of the things that I've done outside the box
Mm-hmm.
because I got to work with Manu Dibango. May he rest in peace. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, those moments combined in France, doing that project because it was actually a full project. It wasn't just Nothing Lasts Forever. So we did like
Yeah.
6 songs and
Yeah.
it was supposed to be on like a EP.
Mm-hmm.
So just that whole moment in France was, for me, I think that was my favorite movement out of everything that I did. That was kind of different than what people expected of me.
Dope,
That one,
dope. Down.
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, and I loved, like, I think it's so funny because I seen it somewhere random and I was like, hold on, I know who that is. The
Did
Bus.
you?
The single.
Would you see
I
it?
was like, I think I seen it randomly on like Facebook. And I forget exactly what, like how, and now, and at first, everyone's just sitting on the bus, and then,
Yeah.
you know, he starts humming the beat, and then, you know, the instruments, and then you come up and start singing Addictive. How was it just doing that? It was so dope, and I loved it. It was so refreshing to see it back out there.
Thank you. Do you actually know where that was?
I think it was in Germany, right?
It was in Dortmund on an actual bus line that people were, so those people had no idea.
Yeah.
And that guy actually drove the bus.
That's crazy. That's so awesome.
Yes, that was my boy Jocko. That was his idea. Shout out to him, you know, and the young man that did the song with us, man. Let me tell you, I didn't even understand what we were doing when we were doing it. He told me that we should do it, and he's one of the main promoters in Germany that you know, gets shows for me. And I was like, okay, I'm willing to try it. I was out there for a show. He was like, let's just do it. He said, I'm telling you, it'll be massive. And we did it, and every time new people got on the bus, because we had to shoot it like, I want to say 6 times at 6
Yeah.
different stops in
Mm-hmm.
order to get the footage we wanted.
Yeah.
So every time it was priceless. The looks on people's faces was real. Everybody who got on the bus was surprised. And I'm telling you, I would have paid for the response every time those people got on the bus, and they were looking around like, what the hell is going on? It
Yeah.
was insane, and it was so dope. But yes, shout out to Jocko for that idea. He wanted to try and do it with a plane, but I'm like, listen,
But
I don't know if you do that on the plane.
and I thought it was so dope because certain people I was noticing started singing along. They knew the songs. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like people were singing
Yeah.
along, like, and knew it. Like, not because, you know,
Yep.
some people were like just looking and, you know, surprised or what was going on. And then some people were singing along. So it's so dope to see how
Yeah.
that song really, you know, like
Yeah.
carries itself. But
Yeah.
another thing I want to talk about, do you want to do more shows back in the US? Because I think you need to be on Lovers and Friends Fest. Like,
Love friends. You know what? Somebody else said that to me.
you
And
need
I
to
think
be on that lineup
it was supposed to happen like right before the COVID thing
in May.
came, right?
Because I bought a ticket actually, because I was like, I'm paying whatever I need to pay. I'm seeing this fest. And it's happening. It
Oh,
was supposed to happen May 8th and 9th. And then they pushed it to August now. But I don't think it's going to happen this year, period, which is fine. But I told them, keep my money, just postpone it until
right.
whenever you could. Because the lineup is my childhood and high school and college years. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, and
that's
I
dope.
was like, where's Truth Hurts? Where's like Blue Cantrell? Where's, you know,
Right,
Nivea? There's certain people like we're
right.
missing because they had a lot of people, but then there's certain people I was like, oh, we're
Yeah,
missing, you know, a few people here and there. But do
I
you want
heard
to do
about
more
it.
shows?
That's what I heard about it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I am still doing shows, and I am willing to do them in the United States. I just found that a lot of times with their smaller shows, with their club shows, they're trying to lowball, and I'm not gonna be, you
Yeah,
know, doing what I do and what I love to do for nothing, because
yeah. I
I
don't blame
pay,
you.
you know, over here, like they pay
Mm-hmm.
me what I do, and in the States, you know, I find it they want this whole brotherhood and sisterhood thing where, you know, it's like, oh, that's the truth, you know, that's my girl, I can get her for the low. No, you
Yeah.
can't. So I would love to do shows, but they have to respect the art, and they got to respect, you know, what I do, because I don't know if anybody told you that they've been to my show, but I really give a show. Like I don't bullshit. I don't just get up there and do the just to kind of pick too, because it's freezing. Are you still there?
We're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I do
That's
want
good to know.
to
Okay.
look over there. Definitely. Definitely.
Dope, dope. I'm gonna be there wherever it is. I'm gonna fly out because I just moved back and like I just been, I don't know, thinking, especially in this time. I'm like, when, you know, festivals and shows get back, I like making my checklist. I'm like, I need to still see like a full show from Truth Hurts. I just like, it's
Oh,
just people, I don't know, just people I didn't see, I feel, back in that day where I want to
right.
see now. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like, just the nostalgia of it. And like today artists, it's just not a full show. They're not bad. I'm not saying that. I do like some artists, but it's just
Right.
not it's not the same. And
I feel the same way you do. Trust me. I feel the same way. I'm like, they're not bad artists. They're good. And me and my husband kind of argue about this because he's younger than me and he likes a lot of the new artists that are out. I'm just like, eh. I want to get that feeling again, the way I felt for Prince and the way I felt for people who it was just like you idolize them. You just like,
yeah,
wow. You just want, like Michael Jackson, like you want to be in the room with them just to touch them and be like, that's
yeah,
a superstar, man. I mean, everything they bring is a moment in time. Everything is magic. And
exactly.
we don't get that anymore. It just doesn't feel that way. It's like the value is so lost. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it back.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's why I just look at, like I said, the past 20 years or 30 years and look and know there was great music and still, the nostalgia of it all. But,
Yeah.
you've seen so much too. What have you learned from the industry? Like, what was one thing you were like, dang, I wish I would have known, now? Because there's so much, and it's a dog eat world, and the entertainment industry.
You know what? I'll say that I've learned that I always say now when people ask me, what is the one thing that you would do different if you could? Because, my career is underrated. After all the hard work I put in, my career, I believe, is underrated, and everything has happened because I didn't have my own personal team. I
Yeah.
believe that your team is everything. If you don't have a team that's out of this world, you can forget about it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, time to Dre, I depended on them solely because of the way that we started the project. Him saying, "Okay, let's put a project out and just trust me to put everything together, and let's see how it comes out." Because of how it all began, it got lost because he's an artist
Yeah.
as well,
Mm-hmm.
and he has to protect his own interests as a label, more than he has to protect my interests as the artist signed to the label. So I needed my own management squad, and I didn't have any of that at the time. I
Yeah.
had just him and Curtis who ran the label, and whoever was on board, and it was more like we were a family, and it was dope the way it was set up, but at the same time I still needed my own squad.
Yeah.
Sure that while I was being Truth Hurts on Aftermath, I was being Truth Hurts on CoverGirl. I was being Truth Hurts on, you know what I'm saying? I didn't
Yeah.
have any of that set up for myself. So I would say, yeah, that's the one thing that I've learned about the business, and also that you need to know the business. You need to
Mm-hmm.
know where your money is coming from. You need to know about your publishing. You need to know about your royalties. You need to know the difference. You need to know where your checks come from and
Yeah.
where they are. You need to know all of that. So, yeah, those are the things that I would have to say that I would do different and that I have learned over time about the business, for sure.
Dope, dope. That's awesome to know. To wrap up, we don't know really when everything's going to get, well, not even to normal, but to our new normal.
Right,
Um, yeah, because nothing's going to be the same like it was. This is a new life we're all going to be living. Um,
right. What do you
yeah,
feel it's going to be?
I don't know. And, I'm kind of in a way, I don't want to know because I feel like life you don't know. And it's kind of refreshing to see people not be so comfortable, even though it is scary. I'm not saying that. It's scary to a point or to a degree. And, God forbid if you get sick or someone
Yeah,
passes a loved one from this. But just make people aren't comfortable right now. And I kind of like it because I think so many people get comfortable in, life and, they just live their everyday same life. I think it's
true,
refreshing in a way to a certain degree of
true.
what will be because we
Right.
really don't know. And, it's definitely a change in the world. And the one thing I really do love it's bringing everyone together for once, even though it's a horrible thing. It's finally
Yeah.
bringing, you don't hear nothing else right now. You just hear
No,
about everyone trying to help each other. So
That's true. That's
it's like
true.
a blessing and a
I agree.
curse. Yeah.
Yeah, it
But
is.
what do you
It is.
still,
And that's how
yeah,
everything is.
yep.
A blessing and a curse.
Yep. But what's still on your bucket list to do? And what do you have coming up, would you say?
More travel and more travel is my bucket list. Like travel beyond travel beyond travel. That's my bucket list. And it's a whole
That's your
list of
bucket.
travel. Yeah.
Where do you still want to go
So
that you haven't yet?
I was supposed to go to the Maldives. I still want to go there.
I heard it's
There's some new
beautiful. Yeah.
places social media I'm learning about that I want to go to. Just places that are just untold and untapped even. But yeah, just travel. Just
Okay.
travel. I love to
That's
travel. That's my thing. So I can't wait till it's safe to do that again. And
mm-hmm.
like I want to go to Nigeria. Definitely, I've never been to Nigeria. I want to go there.
Okay.
I want to
Dope,
go.
dope.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
And then I know you said Fight for Love. You're dropping, what is it, May 5th, I think, right? The
Cinco
re-release?
de, yes, Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. So what, when do you want to shoot the video and all that? Like, are you going to do it like ASAP before?
ASAP, as soon as we can fly again, we're gonna do it.
Okay. Dope,
Yeah.
dope. Well, no, truth, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. Like I said, I've always been a fan. Like when you responded and said you were interested, I was like, oh my God, this is Truth Hurts. Like,
Yeah.
someone, and it's so funny because I tell people Truth Hurts and they're like, oh, the Lizzo song? I was like, no, like,
Yeah, they think it's the Lizzo song.
know some music from, not even, I feel like music from the 2000s is still not even long ago to me. I feel like it
Right.
was yesterday. But,
Me
to
too.
people, it's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. And
But
that's if you expect it, but this is microwave nation, so they don't know. They
yeah,
don't
it's
even be.
one artist in, one artist out, a song in, a song out. It's just so quick. It doesn't, just different. But
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time. I'm excited for the new music, like you said, movies, everything from you. I really appreciate it. And, stay healthy, stay blessed. Tell the family to stay healthy, stay blessed. And, yeah, I can't wait. I really can't wait for your show in anywhere in America because I'll be there. I
I
promise
will
you.
keep you posted. We are friends now. You've been adopted into
Okay,
the
thank you. I
new.
appreciate
Will
it.
definitely keep you posted on when I'm doing something back there, and I will look into the Lovers and Friends just for you.
Yeah, that it has to have, like, once you see the lineup, you'll understand why. It's
Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
it's that.
Okay.
So, but yeah, thank you so much. Have a great night because I know it's evening by you
Good night.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's almost like
And
9 p.m., but I'm always up. For some reason I'm still on stage time, so I'm
is it,
up. I'm up.
yeah, I would be too. But thank you so much, and yeah,
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Well, have a great
Okay,
day.
okay, you too. Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye. See ya.